morning, everybody. My name's Stephen Quinn. I'm a real estate investor out in sunny southern Arizona. So southern, in fact, that the Mexico border is not too far away from my home. But I'm on here this morning because I wanted to tell my story, because I'm hoping that my story might help other people. And this is not going to be a long video. This is not meant to be an autobiography. But I did want to let you know where I'm coming from and what I'm doing here to help people. Now, less than a year ago, I could not say that my name is Stephen Quinn, owner of Quinn Real Estate Investment Group, okay? My name then was Stephen Quinn, W-2 employee, stuck in the rat race, trying to live paycheck to paycheck, and after 12 years of that process, still unable to barely make the payments that I had. Because life taught me that I needed to go into debt to have the things that I needed, and as long as I could make the payments, life would be good. But then I never had enough, so we were just struggling to make the payments and yada yada yada, right? This is a story that we've all heard and are living as part of the American, typical situation today. But let me step back a little bit. So I was a good kid. I didn't get straight A's in school, but I got good grades in school, right? I tried. It's kind of a nerd. I'll throw that out there. I don't mind. But I loved music. I wanted to be a music teacher. In fact, I planned on being a band director. I played trumpet and tuba in school. And so when I got into college, I started taking a music education degree. And unfortunately, as I was doing that, I found that it was going to be very difficult for me to provide for family on the income I would get being in that situation. I love teachers. If you are a teacher out there, I love you. Teachers are awesome. But I just couldn't make it work for my family. In fact, I started and stopped school multiple times because I had gotten married, had a new little family, and I was unable to provide for that family properly. Tried to go to school full time and work to pay the bills. So of course I did the student loan thing, did what I could to help my situation get better, but it didn't really. It just the debt just climbs, right? So make a long story short, 11 years go by of me. I left college and I got into school doing heating and air conditioning or getting training in that. Became the best heating and air conditioning guy I could imagine. Like I studied, I made sure I knew this stuff. I have very specialized training when it comes to heating and air conditioning. But the more I earned, it seemed like the less I had, or at least the more debt I incurred. So I noted through this process, though, of being a heating and air conditioning professional, that as I would do projects for people, I had some repeat customers keep showing up, and I was doing projects at different houses. So I kind of inquired. Normally I do, residential work, so there would be one customer at their home that they live in, and all of a sudden I was like, Joe out there, I'm just making up a name, but Joe would have 4 properties that he was doing, and I would talk to him. He said, I'm a real estate investor, and I have multiple properties, and so I kind of got this little thing in my head, and of course we all watch these shows on television where we fix and flip properties, and people make a bunch of money, and it's great. So I started to see this, and I noticed that when I was doing these projects, that these guys would pay me the few $1,000s that it would take to do their project. I would get a small sliver of that as part of my salary or my pay, and when all was said and done, they would sell that property and make thousands. And the thing that I thought was so interesting is why is it that the person who's paying money out and doing none of the work themselves is the one making the biggest profit at the end? Something didn't make sense to me, and I needed to understand what it was. And I didn't know where to turn to figure that out. So in my small mind, I did not do well talking to people. Now, that's not where I'm at today. I'm happy to talk to anybody, anytime. It doesn't bother me. But that was something I had to learn. But back then, I'm like hunting around online for anything I could find. And I saw a lot of guru type events, these people that are on these television shows. They offer their courses and things, and that just wasn't a thing I thought I could utilize. But as I was thumbing through, I came across a small ad from a mother and daughter team saying that they were looking for people to show how to invest in real estate, and that they could, the people they brought on board could earn while they learn. And I thought, okay, let me at least, I email responded to them because I'm not one to call, and find out what this is about. And so they sent me some information, helped let me find out what this deal was that they were offering. And the more I got involved, the more I started to see and think a little bit differently about how, if I could invest in myself and get educated, have the opportunity to earn some money working with this mother and daughter team, and actually finding out as I went by that this is more of a national community of folks working together, of individual business owners, but that I could find a way to go to school, earn some money, provide for my family, and then get doing this real estate investing thing that I'm hearing about. So as I get going, I realize, okay, so there's different options for me to go to school and invest in myself. The cheapest one was about $2,000. The most expensive one was $20,000. And to me, 20 grand was just no way. That's more than my car's cost. I'm living paycheck to paycheck right now. How the heck can I do that? But I wanted that, right? I wanted to get fully educated. I wanted to get a senior level course structure under my belt, so I really understood how to do this to be successful. And as I went through and was looking at my options, I had bad credit. Just heating and air conditioning business ebbs and flows. So I had money one month and I had no money the next, and I could just never make my money income stream steady enough to really be able to pay the bills properly. In fact, I used to have a chart that was a priority list on my bills, and what I would do is if I had enough, we took the money we had and I went through the priority list and said, okay, priority number 1, it gets paid first, priority number 2 gets, and you just went down the list, and when the money ran out, okay, that's where we stopped. So anybody on the lower priority didn't get paid that month, and it was unfortunate, but it was just the way I was having to live. So I continued on, trying to figure out, I'm like, I want in, I want to do this, but it's go big or go home time, right? I'm going to take care of my family in the best way possible, so I needed to find out how to come up with 20 grand. And so I had some people helping me figure out what options I might have to, do you got a 401k that you can borrow against, which I didn't, because I lived paycheck to paycheck. There was no money to go into a 401k. And ultimately I found somebody that would finance about 80% of the total for me, which I was still concerned about how would I make that payment. But I still had this $4,000 figure left that I had to figure out how to overcome. And it was a wall. It was a financial wall I stared at for about 4 months, unable to figure out how do I get over this blockage so I can get started and be a part of this community that I see and love. Now, they never turned me away through that 4 months. I was allowed to hang out and do whatever I could to get to know the group and other investors and rub shoulders. And the more I did, the more eager I got to be a part of it. But eventually I found a family member who invested in me. They said, I'm not giving you this money for the college, and you do need to repay it, but I will invest the $4,000 in you because I believe in you. And that meant a lot. Because now looking back, that was a pivotal point for me. I'm sorry. From that moment, it took me about 7 months to get smart enough to walk away from my full-time job, to start accelerating paying off my debts, to build my own real estate investing business with my wife, and to get to be with my children every day. I'm sorry. I'm by myself in this video, blubbering like a baby. My world has changed because I made a decision to get educated in a world that does nothing but lift people up. And I'm here to tell you right now, if you want to know how to do it, just give me a call, send me an email, reach out. I will show you how I went from 12 years of living paycheck to paycheck and being gone 16 hours a day, to now waking up every morning and getting my kids ready for school, walking up to the bus, coming home and sitting down in my office with my wife and working together and building something better. As a result of the things that we've learned, we took our 30-year mortgage and we're shortening it to about 7 years. We will have it paid off. Gosh, I gotta stop crying and get my composure. We will have paid off our mortgage, saving over $150,000 in interest, and I did not have to refinance my mortgage. I had to pay it a different way. Our vehicles were set up on the 60-month plan, so it would take forever to pay them off. We will have them paid off in about a year. It's only taken me 7 months to learn enough to do that. Now, if I told you that it would take $20,000 to invest in yourself to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest, would that be worth it? It is to me. So I'm here to tell you there's a better way out there. We have been educated and farmed out to be employees of other people. And if you have the right mentality and the right entrepreneurship, you do not have to live in that mentality. Let me show you how we're doing it. And I promise it will change your world. Thank you.